Hi everyone, it's Jen, and I'm going to walk you through this first part of the tutorial, and that is entering data. So first of all, I've already saved my file with my last name and my first name and Cupcake sales, and it's saved in a nice folder. And please note that I have zoomed in because I like to see my cells nice and big. So I've zoomed in and I typed in Yoshiko's Cupcakes dash sales for winter quarter. And notice this is all in cell A1. If I click on B1 or C1, this data is not in those cells. It's all in A1 and it's spilling across these cells because there's nothing else in there, and that is perfectly okay. I'm going to go ahead and press enter and type in the next parts of the data. So I've typed in sales numbers in the thousands. I've pressed enter twice. I typed in flavors, chocolate chip trip, and notice that it's okay that everything is spilling over here. Very soon I'm going to start entering data in here, and that's going to get confusing if I have my information spilling over. So I want to widen this column to the width of the longest flavor name here, because if I double click here, for example, it's going to widen it all the way out here, and then my numbers are going to be out here, and it's going to look quite silly. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. Another little trick I can do is I can go ahead and select my longest flavor and head over to Format and do Auto Fit Column Width, and that will auto fit to the cell that I have selected. So now I have my columns widened to the place that I would like, and I'd like to start entering in the months for this winter quarter. I'm going to type in January. And be careful that you're spelling it correctly, because this trick will not work if you have it spelled incorrectly. Now I'd like to use autofill. Now, if you remember from our previous modules, when you use autofill, it will make a copy of a word. So for example, if it says flavors, I could go ahead and copy that across, and it's going to say flavors, 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 like Flavor Flav. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that because I don't want to copy that. One thing that autofill will also do is it will complete a series. It's pretty smart. So it recognizes certain words like days of the week, the months, and it will complete a series. So I'm going to go ahead and hover over here, and I'm going to click and drag 1, 2, and you'll see that it will enter February, March. If I kept going, of course, it would do the rest. I don't want the rest. I just want winter quarter. So I'd like those 3 months. And this will work also if I did, and don't do this, week 1, it would go ahead and do week 2, week 3, week 4. What else? It will do the days of the week, Sunday. And I'll go ahead and do that and see it will fill it in for me. So you can see this is a huge time saver. Now I would like to start entering in my sales numbers. So I'm going to show you another quick trick for good data entry. I'd like to enter in my sales numbers here. So I'm going to select that range ahead of time, and this gives me the magic power to just tab and shift tab and move along here. And also I can press enter and shift enter. If I do use my arrow keys, it takes me out of that mode. But if I go ahead and select a range, this allows me a really quick way to move around my selected range and enter in the data. So for example, I can start with 188, and I'm using my keypad on the right, and I'm pressing enter, 125, enter, 77, enter, 110, enter, 54, enter, and look, ooh, it pops me up to the top. Very nice. So go ahead and put in all the rest of your data. Once you're done, you can go ahead and press enter. It would even take you back up to the top, but I'm all done, so I'm going to go ahead and hit my arrow key. And now I'd like to go ahead and enter my last outline here, which is entering the words total. So I'm going to type in total, and I'm supposed to make it bold also. And I'm too lazy to type it over again, so I'm just going to copy and paste it. I'll do Control C, and I'm going to go down here and Control V. And see, when you do copy something in Excel, it gives you this really cool look, like I call it the Vegas look. So you've got this cute little outline going on when you've copied something. To get out of that, you can always hit the Escape key or go to another cell. And make sure that you've saved your work and you have entered all the data, and now we can get started on the formulas in the next video.